Thank you for joining me today. Much appreciated. I was wondering if you could just give me a bit of background about yourself. And yeah, to start us off, if you could give us a quick interview about your role, your experience in the world of partnerships, and how it connects with the work Awin's doing
Yeah,
in the
of
brand
course.
partnership space, that'll be great.
Yeah, so I'm Lee Meta's regional senior lead for brand partnerships and retail media at Awin. So my remit covers UK, Lux, and the French market. I've been at Awin for coming up 11 years, which is scary. Spent a lot of that time, early part of the years in client services, managing different client accounts, overseeing different client accounts. But for the last 5 years, it kind of spearheaded our brand partnership proposition. So my team work with our network of brand partners. We've got about 400 of them on the Awin network. We offer strategic consultative advice to help them optimize their performance and also support them with matchmaking brand collaborations. Then we also support our portfolio of strategic solution providers like Tyviso, working to support your pipeline by engaging neighboring clients, and then again working collaboratively to help optimize that performance. And then I guess the third in the tri-party is we support advertisers as well. So we help advertisers connect with relevant brand partners and again just help with that matchmaking experience.
Nice. And how do you fit all of that onto a business card, your job title, just out of pure curiosity?
I don't.
It was still a thing. Alrighty, question two. Outside of pure acquisition, what are the other benefits that you see brands are getting from brand partnerships at the moment?
Yeah, so I guess the benefits from brand partnerships, I'll split it into two. So I think for advertisers, the vast bulk of the benefit from brand partnerships is around position, right? So it's that ability to, I guess, target highly relevant customer audiences, align with brands that have very similar demographics, or complement the customer shopping experience that they're kind of undertaking with you. But I think there's also a point around brand awareness and brand resonance. Being promoted by a host or a brand partner, I think adds value to brands in that non-tangible way. Then I think from the brand partner or the host side, it's very much about enhancing the customer and shop behavior, right? So how can we positively influence that customer experience? Things like increasing conversion rate optimization at checkout, rewarding customer loyalty, reducing churn reduction. These are all things that we can start to see within brand partnerships. And I think the benefits are becoming more clear to advertisers and brands.
I'll throw in a question. Do you see a value like a lot of brands tend to decide to do one or the other? Do you
Mm.
think there's like a kind of almost a mistake that some brands that are not doing it both at the same time? And do you think extra value can be unlocked from doing both at the same time? At the moment, like to your answer there, brands tend to either be like a promoter or an
Mm.
advertiser. But there's not many brands maybe that are doing both. Do you
Mm.
kind of feel like that's a mistake or that's something that extra value could be made from doing both at the same time?
Extra value, yes, 100%. In terms of is it a mistake? Yeah, I think it probably is. I think the reason for that is ultimately the benefits that a brand gets from being the advertiser and being promoted are very different to the benefits that they get from being the brand partner. I think what we tend to find is the stakeholder team that manages the advertiser side of that partner relationship is perhaps different to the stakeholder that manages the brand partner side of that relationship. We have cases where the stakeholder is the same contact, and those are the brands that are typically playing on both sides of the coin, if you like, and then they're seeing greater value from it. I think the advice or the takeaway there is probably to align with different stakeholder teams and see how you can make brand partnerships almost play into every part of your business organization.
Nice, cool. There's many different formats. So, for example, there's pre-checkout, post-checkout, rewards, and even more than that. How do you just say that a brand should go about deciding what's best for them?
Yeah, I think so. In terms of deciding what's best for a brand, I think it ultimately comes down to the primary KPI that the brand is looking to achieve, right? And I think just calling three out. So if a brand wants to increase their conversion rate optimization or their average order value, we would recommend that they display an ad format that is pre-checkout, because then we know we can incentivize those metrics with customers that are passing through the checkout journey. If the KPI is all about revenue and increasing the profit margin that you get from individual customers, we would recommend post checkout, because that's then when you can start to insert third party brand offers that will typically pay a higher CPA. You generate higher CPMs, and that's how you then start to drive more profitability from customers once they've completed their shopping journey with you. I think Third, if you're looking for loyalty, churn reduction, increased shopping behavior, then thinking about a reward program that entices customers back into the site or provides customers with value beyond the services and experience that you provide them, that's then when you can start to play into that KPI and that benefit as well. So I think in terms of the format that the brand takes, it's very reliant on what the primary KPI is. And that's how we would best position it. We try to understand what the KPI is first.
And maybe a follow-up to that, do you see any problems with brands running multiple formats at the same time?
No, I think we would try to encourage it, because I think each format, again, like it plays into different KPIs, but it provides a different experience to the customer as well. So let's just take pre-purchase and post-purchase, right? Pre-purchase is very much about, can we incentivize that customer to product to basket or complete that basket and check out on site. When they've then got to post-purchase, you can then start to tell more of a story to that customer, and you can start to educate them on why the third-party complementary brand complements the shopping experience that they've just had with you. So I think even those two, pre-purchase and post-purchase, can be used together to just round off what is quite a compelling story. Get the customer to complete their action on site. Then when they have completed that action, tell more of a story and kind of provide them with upsell and added benefits, I guess, post-checkout.
Have you seen any recent trends in format choice? So, for example, obviously we talked about pre-purchase, post-purchase. Are you seeing Awin brands move in a particular direction at the moment?
I think it depends on the sector, right, that we're talking about with the client. So quick commerce brands, fashion, beauty retailers are typically looking to increase conversion rate optimization. So they're electing for pre-purchase formats where we can really start to shift that needle on basket completion. In sectors where profit margins are typically a little bit tighter, so something like electricals, those retailers are looking to drive more value from the customer and drive more profit margin. They're opting for post-checkout, where they can start to dial it up and it becomes a revenue play. I think what we've then seen is this emergence of rewards. Rewards has been used for a long time within telecoms, I think, financial insurances, banking, where brands that are almost locking customers into a contract use rewards as a value add to reward that customer during the contract period. I think we're seeing more retailers now use reward programs as an ability to offer customers value outside of shopping moments that doesn't then have to erode their own margin. So an example being a fashion retailer that offers a reward program, rather than offering 5-10% on your next purchase with said fashion brand, they can provide the customer with a third-party discount that entices them back into site. Once they're on site, the fashion retailer can then make the website work hard enough to get that customer to convert and repeat shop. So rewards, I think, is shifting. We've seen a lot of great work for years within the telecom sector. We're now seeing more traditional retailers start to integrate rewards into their ecosystem.
Interesting. Thank you. More retailers are moving from advertiser to host/publisher. What does this shift mean in practice, and have you got any good examples of brands doing this well?
I think the ease of integration through Awin solution providers has really helped this, right? And I think partners like Tyviso, you're integrated into our Awin MasterTag. That enables script deployment within hours, which makes it much easier for these advertiser brands to become brand partners. I think a good example of a brand doing this well, I think someone like Shark Ninja, they've always been an advertiser brand that's been promoted by brand partners through their work with you guys. Actually, they've become a really important and I think compelling brand partner for advertiser audiences to tap into as well.
Nice. And then on that note, what role does the Awin MasterTag have to play in brand partnerships? How does that help accelerate this space?
Yeah. So the Awin MasterTag is effectively a container tag. So any advertiser brand that works with Awin, we have our MasterTag solution that typically sits across all pages of their site. Solution provider scripts are then embedded within that. So that means that through our plugin store, a client can come, they can toggle on to work with Tyviso. Your script is automatically then integrated into that client's website through our Awin MasterTag. I think that helps with the speed of deployment. But the important thing is that campaign does not go live until the client has come to Tyviso and created the campaign. So we almost do all of the brunt work and all of the hard work to deploy your script, but the client then gets to come into your platform and do the fun part, which is selecting the visual layout, selecting what advertisers they want to promote, branding it up, and then obviously putting the campaign live. So I think the Awin Math plays a key role in just ensuring that speed of deployment and that ease of deployment, but the brand still then has to, I guess, go into the Tyviso platform and build out the campaign and put something together that they would want to display to their customers.
So there's lots of hungry developers in the street who you've made unemployed, is basically what you're saying. Cool. What trends or innovations do you think will shape the future brand partnerships and performance media?
I think we'll see more ad formats. I think if we think about the successes we've seen with gift with purchase to pre-purchase, the primary objective of that is to positively influence customer behavior. We show them a gift at the checkout as an incentive to complete their order. I think we've obviously done some work with you guys to take where we show that offer slightly earlier in the journey. So showing an offer at product page, pre-purchase, if you like, can we incentivize that customer to add to basket? If we know then when they get to the basket, there's offers there which incentivize them to convert. You're ultimately filling the bucket to then get it to convert harder. And I think an interesting thing to consider as well would be taking it even earlier again, so almost onto the homepage, which is where customers typically land and then bounce straight away. If a brand partner can show an advertiser offer that is front and center on their homepage, and that then incentivizes the customer to go through that product discovery journey, and you're reducing bounce rate. Again, you're just driving higher quality traffic just through that purchasing funnel, so that ultimately when they do get to the basket page, they're going to convert at a far greater rate. One of the other things that we're exploring as well is almost this blend of in-store to offline. So one of the things that we've been looking to explore, I guess, is within digital till receipts. So a lot of fashion retailers do this, where you'll go into store and they'll ask you if they can email you a till receipt. It is ultimately a data play, right, to try and get more behavior and shopping data from you to then segment you into a profile. If it's the same email that you shop with online, they can match that together and create a pretty comprehensive data profile of you as a shopper. Right now, I don't think there's enough incentive for customers to just give up that data. Now, if you could offer them a gift for doing so using what we have done in the online world with gift with purchase so successfully, and you can give that customer some sort of digital reward with their digital till receipt, I think you then start to see a greater opt-in of customers willing to give data. And I think the third trend or third innovation, I think we'll start to see more supplier or vendor funding basically come into brand partnerships. So, for example, if you bought a Dyson vacuum on Argos and could fund a partner offer from Small that you could then give to the customer. So I think what that will enable advertisers to do is effectively give stronger offers because it's going to be funded by a supplier or a vendor to then offer to the customer. I think that's something that could be really interesting because it pulls more spend in, but it also allows, I think, a greater offer because it's being part funded by one of your supplier brands. I think that's something that we'll start to see more of within this space.
I think so, yeah. A lot of it's around the kind of the transactional moment, but what you're kind of anticipating is just stretching more either side of that, right? Like, so for data collection or
I think so.
Ongoing loyalty.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's about how you reward the customer for desired action, right? And if that desired action in store is to give up data, you have to come to some sort of understanding of how you're going to reward that customer for doing so.
What verticals, so many verticals are doing well at the moment in brand partnerships, right? But do you think there's any that are being left behind or could be doing better?
There's a couple. I think FMCG brands could be doing more on win-back campaigns, particularly subscription brands. We're working quite closely with one of the food box subscription retailers to look at how they can use partner offers to basically reward customers and incentivize them to come back and repeat subscribe. So again, it goes back to that point I made earlier, but rather than eroding your own margin and giving a discount, why not bundle that with a third party offer and use some of that margin to offset the discount that you're offering? I think there's an opportunity there. I think we still haven't really cracked travel. I think there's an obvious alignment within travel to pair relevant retailer purchases. You've just booked a ski holiday, direct the customer to some sort of ski equipment. You've just booked a summer holiday, direct them to sunglasses, swimwear. There's an opportunity there that I still don't think we've quite got right. And again, I come back to that point around rewarding desired actions. I think within finance, I think there's an opportunity to reward for quotations. So we reward for purchases within retail, there are a number of finance brands that are looking to get customers to complete a quotation, I think there's an opportunity there to give that customer a reward when they complete the quotation. And again, an incentive to go through the 5-page questionnaire or whatever it might be to get the quote that you need.
Interesting. So almost like a reward for a CPL, if you will. So it's like, the first action towards a purchase, like will incentivize you to
Yeah,
try and help push you along that journey a little bit.
yeah. Yeah, like again, particularly with a quote, right, where it sometimes takes 5, 6, 7 pages of inputting into a form to get car insurance, as an example. If you could be shown a reward, let's say, I don't know, breakdown cover insurance at a discounted rate once you've completed your car insurance proposal, like that makes sense to me as a consumer to go through the ordeal of that quotation process, knowing that I'm going to get a discount on breakdown cover at the end of it.
Nice, good answer. What are some of the best in-class campaigns you've seen so far, and why were they the best in class?
Good question. I'll give you a couple. Right? So
Please.
I'm going to go Shark, which was one of your own campaigns, and I'm not just saying this because I'm talking to you, but I think Shark was a great campaign, right? Because they were able to dynamically populate what was shown at the basket based on the contents of the customer's cart. I think the example was if they had a beauty product, you showed them a beauty description. If they had a vacuum in basket, then you showed them some sort of home cleaning. And I think not only did that boost conversion rate at the basket, but you also saw a greater redemption of the partner offer because the customer was slightly more inclined. So dynamically populating it based on the customer's previous shopping habit or what they have in their basket, I think is just the key to optimal success here. We also did a campaign a couple of years back with David Lloyd and Audible, which still sticks out as one of my favorites. It was it wasn't a sale driving campaign, it was all around brand awareness, but part of that exposure involved the D6 screens and David Lloyd clubs. Audible offer was promoted and it linked back to the David Lloyd member benefits app where customers could then redeem. It got something like 9-10 million impressions over the 1 month campaign period. So like huge reach for Audible. And I think it's still something that they talk about today and use to kind of benchmark campaigns against. And then the third one, putting like a reward spin on it, again, one of your campaigns, but rewards. We obviously submitted that into a PMA entry this year, but saw, was it 35% likelihood reduction in customer churn with customers that interacted with the reward app. So again, I think like we talk about loyalty now across all sectors and how challenging it is to encourage customers to come back to you. I think that's a great example of how we're able to integrate a reward program and reduce likely churn, which is obviously so prevalent in the telecom space with customers that interacted with that reward program. So then they're the three that probably stick out.
We've talked about a lot of kind of like the good bits of brand partnerships, if you will. I'm just curious as to what some of maybe the most common mistakes that you've seen brands make in this space.
I think there's sometimes a biased or unfair assumption, particularly within retail. And I think it's important that brand teams are appeased. And of course, you have to have a partner offer that plays into your brand values and fits with your customer demographics. I get that. That absolutely makes sense. But we often get feedback that perhaps a brand partner offer devalues the brand image. And that, I think, is a common mistake because of all the campaigns that we have live across multiple clients in multiple sectors, in multiple subsectors, everything from, like I said, quick commerce to luxury fashion. We know that partner offers drive decent value to a business, whether it's conversion rate optimization, whether it's increased revenue. So I think sometimes there is biased or perhaps unfair assumptions that are put on some partner offers that just aren't true. I think what we typically try to recommend with that is just allow us to A/B test it, right? Allow us to put a campaign live and we'll almost show you the value that this can drive to your customer. If your customer is interested in interacting with a food box, they will take that offer regardless of whether it's premium enough that matches your brand audience or not. Customers will take that offer if it's relevant to them. So that, I think, is the common mistake. It's just around that biased or unfair assumptions, I think.
I definitely agree, by the way. Or I think the other thing that I see sometimes is that someone who's maybe running the campaign is biased about what they like rather than necessarily what their customers like, which is a very easy trap to fall in, right? Because you think, oh yeah, like, I need a new laptop, of course. Like I'd love 10% off that, but in reality, how often do you buy a laptop? You don't, right?
Yeah. And again, that's why it should always be A/B tested, right? Or run split testing around partner offers what customers want, and you very quickly, I think, start to get an idea of what works and what doesn't.
I agree, and I think it's probably unfair to say that every partnership is 100% successful. I think for me, the key thing is to win big and lose small, right? And when you lose small, learn from those little losses and then turn it into the next big win. I think that's kind of the key.
Yeah, I agree.
Now that we're moving towards wrapping up, if you had to give a final piece of advice to a brand who hasn't committed to trying brand partnerships yet, what would it be?
I think so. I presented at an Awin event a couple of weeks back, and the kind of like the headline I led with is no matter what your marketing challenge is, brand partnerships can support, right? So every client across every sector has challenges. And I genuinely believe that brand partnerships can support with all of them. We've spoken about increasing conversion rate optimization at checkout. That has to be relevant for every retail client. We've spoken about customer loyalty and churn reduction. That has to be relevant for every telecom brand, every finance brand. So I think no matter what that marketing challenge is, I think we can support. The other thing I would say is brand partnerships, retail media, however you want to coin it, I guess it's here to stay. I think the economic climate that we find ourselves within, retailers need to work harder for revenue. And I think these are tools which can help them to do that. But I think also if you look at it from the advertiser side, that ability to target customers based on very aligned lookalike customer audiences, demographics that are aligned to your own. I think making your marketing spend go further by tapping into an audience that is really relevant to you, I think that will continue to drive growth here. And then again, the demise of third-party cookie tracking will make it harder within other marketing channels to target those lookalike customer audiences. Aligning with a brand partner that has a similar demographic to your own allows you to tap into first-party databases that are very relevant. So I don't think we've reached the peak of the opportunity yet. So if you are a brand listening to this and you haven't done it yet, like it's absolutely not too late. But I think if you're not already active or at least not already thinking about it, I can probably say with some certainty that your competitors will be and are. So I think it's an opportunity for you to almost jump on this quite quickly or risk getting left behind. That's what I would say.
Nice. And I was going to throw in one extra bonus thing, actually. I was going to say, I'm sure there's many brands who are on the Awin network necessarily tried brand partnerships or aren't sure. Obviously, you have a team that's basically dedicated to this Awin. If someone is on Awin, how can they get in touch with you? How can they take that first step and kind of speak to a trusted source in who they already work with in terms of Awin?
Yeah. So speak to your Awin account contact, or feel free to connect with me on LinkedIn, and I can put you in touch with my team. We can offer consultative advice and basically just help you kind of along that journey and explore what brand partnerships can do for you and your business and how we can help you with your marketing challenge, I guess.
And what's the email address for anyone who's definitely not able to find it somehow on the website?
Email address to contact my team is UK brand partnerships, no space, @awin.com.